Mr. McCabe, thank you for being here today under somewhat difficult circumstances. We appreciate your candor and your testimony. On March 20th, Director Comey, then Director Comey, testified to the House of Representatives, "I have been authorized by the Department of Justice to confirm that the FBI, as part of our counterintelligence mission, is investigating the Russian government's efforts to interfere in the 2016 presidential election, and that includes investigating the nature of any links between individuals associated with the Trump campaign and the Russian government, and whether there was any coordination between the campaign and Russian efforts. As with any counterintelligence investigation, this will also include an assessment of whether any crimes were committed." Is that statement still accurate?
Yes, sir, it is.
And how many agents are assigned to this project? How many, or personnel generally within the FBI, roughly?
Yes, sir. I can't really answer those sorts of questions in this forum.
Well, yesterday, a White House press spokesman said that this is one of the smallest things on the plate of the FBI. Is that an accurate statement? Is this a small investigation in relation to all the other work that you're doing?
Sir, we consider it to be a highly significant investigation.
So you would not characterize it as one of the smallest things you're engaged in?
I would not.
Thank you. Let me change the subject briefly. We've been talking about Russia and their involvement in this election. One of the issues of concern to me, and perhaps I can direct this to, well, I'll direct it to anybody in the panel, the allegation of Russian involvement in our electoral systems. Is that an issue that is of concern, and what do we know about that, and is that being followed up on by this investigation? Mr. McCabe, is that part of your investigation? No, I'm not talking about the presidential election. I'm talking about state-level election infrastructure.
Yes, sir. So obviously not discussing any specific investigation in detail. The issue of Russian interference in the U.S. democratic process is one that causes us great concern. And quite frankly, it's something that we've spent a lot of time working on over the past several months. And to reflect comments that were made in response to an earlier question that Director Coates handled, I think part of that process is to understand the inclinations of our foreign adversaries to interfere in those areas. So we've seen this once. We are better positioned to see it the next time. We're able to improve not only our coordination with, primarily through the Department of Homeland, through DHS, through their expansive network into the state and local election infrastructure, but to interact with those folks to put them in a better position to defend against whether it's cyber attacks or any sort of influence-driven interactions.
Thank you. I think that's a very important part of this issue. Admiral Rogers, yesterday a camera crew from TASS was allowed into the Oval Office. There was no American press allowed. Was there any consultation with you with regard to that action in terms of the risk of some kind of cyber penetration or communications in that incident?
No.
Were your agency wasn't consulted in any way?
Not that I'm aware of. I wouldn't expect that to automatically be the case, but no, not that I'm aware
Did it
of.
raise any concerns when you saw those pictures that those cameramen and crew were in the Oval Office without?
I'll be honest, I wasn't aware of where the images came from.
Thank you. Mr. Coates, Director Coates, you lead the intelligence community. Were you consulted at all with regard to the firing of Director Comey?
I was not.
So you had there were no discussions with you, even though the FBI is an important part of the intelligence community?
There were no discussions.
Thank you. Mr. Chairman, thank you.